You never quite expect certain conversations. They just show up. One moment, you're reaching into the cabinet for the plates, and the next, you're looking your stepson in the eye, realizing he's asking something that's going to change both of you forever. It happened on a Saturday morning. You know the kind. Sunlight pouring in, a few streaks across the countertop, coffee brewing, the hum of a quiet weekend. He was sitting there at the kitchen island, one foot swinging beneath the stool, watching me cook, not saying much, just watching. The kind of silence that doesn't feel uncomfortable, more like he was thinking something over. And I noticed it. I really noticed it. He's not my biological son. I didn't raise him from a baby. But I've been there, present, at the games, the birthdays, the hard days, the good ones too. Still, I never wanted to force anything. I always figured I'd just show up, be consistent, let him come to me if he ever needed to. And that morning, in that kitchen, he did. He asked, "Can I ask you something?" And I turned off the stove, set the spatula down. I didn't say anything right away, just nodded. Because sometimes the pause is what makes people feel safe. You give them room. He looked down for a second, scratched the back of his head like he was trying to gather the right words. Then he looked up and said, "Do you ever wonder if you're enough?" That's what he asked. Not about girls, not about school, not about whether I liked the football team he was thinking about trying out for. No, this was deeper. This was the kind of question that comes from someone trying to find where they belong. I could have answered quickly. Could have said, "Of course you're enough," or "Why would you even ask that?" But I didn't. Because I knew, right then, this wasn't about reassurance. It was about truth. And if I wanted to reach him, I had to meet him where he was. So I asked, "What makes you ask that?" He shrugged. "I don't know, just sometimes I feel like I have to be perfect. Like if I mess up, it means something. Like I'm just not good enough." And man, that hit me. Because I've felt that too. Maybe we all have at some point. The idea that our value is tied to what we do, the grades we get, the image we show, the way we're perceived. And especially for him, coming into a blended family, navigating identities, trying to figure out where he fits. I pulled out a chair and sat next to him. Not across, next to. That was important. And I said, "I felt that way too." He looked surprised, maybe even a little skeptical. So I continued. "When I married your mom, I wondered if I was enough for her and enough for you. I wondered if I'd say the wrong thing or if you'd compare me to someone else. I'd wake up in the middle of the night thinking, am I doing this right? Am I screwing this up?" He just sat there, listening. And I could tell. He was seeing me differently. Not just as the guy who's there, but as a man who struggles too. A man who gets it. And you know what I learned? I said, being enough isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about showing up, especially when it's hard. It's about choosing to be present, to listen, to love, even when you're not sure how it's going to land. He nodded. Just a little. So I asked him, "What makes you feel like you have to be perfect?" He hesitated. Then he said, "At school, everyone's always trying to one-up each other. Like if you're not good at sports, or if you're not the funny guy, or if you don't dress a certain way, people just ignore you. And sometimes I feel like I'm just invisible." And that right there, that cracked something open. Because being a teenager now, it's brutal. Social media, pressure, expectations. And when you're part of a blended family, that pressure gets turned up a notch. You're constantly measuring yourself against the invisible yardstick of what's normal, or how am I supposed to act? So I leaned in and said, "You're not invisible. Not here, not to me. You matter exactly as you are. You don't have to earn a place at this table. You already belong." I watched his shoulders drop, like the weight he'd been carrying just loosened a little. He didn't say anything for a moment, just kind of breathed. And I realized we don't have enough of these conversations with our kids. with each other. We brush over feelings, we distract ourselves with phones, and to-do lists and next steps. But sometimes the kitchen is where the real life happens. I asked him if he wanted to help me finish breakfast. He grinned and said, "Only if I don't have to do the eggs." We laughed, and it felt good. Natural. While we cooked, we didn't talk about heavy stuff anymore. We joked, talked about music. He told me about a girl he thought was cute. Asked me if I was ever nervous asking someone out when I was his age. I told him absolutely. That I once tripped over my own foot while trying to ask a girl to homecoming. He laughed so hard he nearly dropped a spoon. But here's the thing, that moment, that question he asked earlier, that was the bridge, the connection, and everything after, the laughter, the stories, the honesty, it all flowed from that. We finished breakfast, ate at the counter, no phones, just two people sharing a quiet space. One where love didn't need to be flashy or loud, just steady. Before he left the kitchen, he paused and looked back at me. "Thanks," he said. And I knew what he meant. He wasn't thanking me for breakfast. He was thanking me for being there, for listening, for seeing him. And I want you to hear this. If you're raising a kid who isn't biologically yours, or even if you are, remember this. They're watching how you show up, how you react, what you say and what you don't. They don't always need answers. Sometimes they just need to know it's okay to ask the question. And when they do, meet them with truth, with patience, with love. You never know what's going to come up while you're in the kitchen. But when it does, be ready. Because those small moments, that's where the big stuff happens. So if your stepson, or anyone in your life, asks something big in the middle of something ordinary, stop. Listen. Be still. Because behind that question might be a heart looking for a place to land. And if you can be that place, that's more than enough.